So having returned to Melbourne from Israel and got used to the winter here in the southern hemisphere, time to reflect on my visit to the Temple Mount. Judy's walking on the Temple Mount, just for the record. What I found was a very beautiful scene, very quiet, very serene, and really quite special. And given the rather terrible things that have happened only 12 months ago and ongoing, it seems quite an extraordinary paradox to find such a place of solitude. As I left through the exit of the Temple Mount, I was passed through a checkpoint where there were Druze officers cheering me goodbye. And a few days later, I discovered that possibly them, I'm not sure if it was them individual, took bullets from worshippers who were leaving the Temple Mount. And clearly, that's shocking.
6 people have been killed in the bloodiest spate of Israeli-Palestinian violence for years following new Israeli security measures at Jerusalem's holiest site. 3 Israelis were stabbed to death in a Jewish settlement in the Israeli-occupied West Bank hours after 3 Palestinians were killed.
Whenever we go to Israel, we visit the Western Wall. It's the holiest site for the Jewish community as a whole, and it's also extraordinarily iconic. But few people realize that probably the holiest site of all is just above it, the Temple Mount itself. This is where the third temple will hopefully be built, but it was also the location for the original temple's Holy of Holies. In fact, many Jews refuse to even consider going up there.
Well, we need to defend everyone that wants to worship on Temple Mount. You know, there's Muslims there, there's Jews. It's one of the most sensitive places on earth. And a week ago today, Muslim radical terrorists went in and murdered 2 Israeli policemen after smuggling in rifles.
The Israeli police have released the CCTV footage showing the moment when the terrorists run up behind them and shoot them in the back. I'll say it again. The terrorists run down from the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, which is our Temple Mount, run up behind 2 Druze, which is a sect of Arabs, runs up behind these 2 policemen and executes them from behind. And the reason these 2 police officers have their backs turned is because technically they are guarding the Temple Mount. They are guarding the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So they have their back to it.
What would you do if you had a series of murderers outside Westminster? You have metal detectors there. For heaven's sake, they have metal detectors
with great respect, Minister, we would probably expect our government to listen to our security experts.
I suggest that you let us run our country and you run your TV show.
What happened here? Why? Why I go to my work? He said to me, if you have to go through these electric doors, I cannot go with. Why?
What could he have expected if it was the worshippers themselves who were killing the Druze security force?
This is my freedom. This is my freedom. This is my weapon. I come here to pray.
Earlier, Israel introduced metal detectors, and this is trying to meet them halfway. But as I say, the Palestinians say it's not working. Now, we'll keep making our way up the road to try and get a little bit closer so you can see where the soldiers are. What's happening right now is stun grenades are being thrown to try and disperse the crowd to get further up the street and further away from these entrances to Al-Aqsa Mosque. The situation is extremely volatile. This is one of the worst flare-ups of violence that has happened in years.